Dear Diary, August 11th, 1957, Sunday. Finished The Star's My Destination and The Naked Sun that Mom got me from the library on Friday. Amazing. I've reread all my Supermans and Captain Marvels. Missing Chet, Stevie, and the guys, but they're having just the best time at camp. Mono sucks. August 12th, 1957. Nothing ever happens in Patterson's Creek. Another dull day. August 12th, 1957. Nothing ever happens in Patterson's Creek. Another dull day. August 12th, 1957. Something crazy happened. Old Ned says he saw some kind of space monster lurking by his barn. Mom says he's in his cups, but I think he's maybe drunk again. Most exciting thing to happen in ages. August 12th, 1957. Nothing ever happens in Patterson's Creek. Another dull day. August 12th, 1957. 3 strangers hanging around. A lady, an old guy, and a youngish guy. They looked out of place. I waved, but they wandered away. The most exciting thing to happen in ages. August 12th, 1957. Weird. 3 strangers turned up and asked me about Patterson's Creek. The lady seemed kind, but had that calmness some teachers have got. I bet no one lies to her. I told her I was Maddie Redmond, that I was the only kid around as I had to miss camp on account of the mono. She looked confused, but the older guy? He said it was glandu fever or something. The younger guy asked if I digged Captain Proton, like from the 30s? Was he older than my dad? The ladies said they had to go, but they'd see me tomorrow. And they just vanished, like Gully Foyle in The Star's My Destination. I tried to tell Mom, but she said I'd been reading too much sci-fi. August 12th, 1957. Weird. 3 strangers came up to me. They knew my name. A serious but nice lady, a grumpy old man, and a younger guy. The old guy asked how my mono was. I said I was okay now, but then he wiggled a salt cellar at me, and he held a cigarette case in his other hand. Oh, I can sort this, he said. The lady got testy with him, like Mom does when Dad's about to do something he's not thought through. Are you sure that's the right course of action, Doctor? The old guy, sure, like a doctor would wave condiments at you, shrugged and gave me what I guess he thought was a smile. All better now. The younger guy looked at his wrist, and his watch beeped. Captain, we're almost out of time. A lady captain. Yeah, I could see it. I bet no one lies to her. And then they vanished, like Gully Foyle. I tried to tell Mom, but she said I'd been reading too much sci-fi. August 12th, 1957. Okay, this is freaky. It's still Monday. How can it still be Monday? And I feel great, like I've never been ill. I went up to the lake, and those people just appeared out of thin air, like jaunting, wild. Hi. The lady looked funny at me. You don't seem to be surprised to see us. Guess I had the biggest, stupidest grin all over my face. You're the captain. He's a doctor, and, The younger man smiled. Tom Paris, flight control. I punched the air. Yeah, you're spacemen, in disguise, I knew it. Doctor, analysis? Previously, no one was aware of the time loop, so luckily that scare when Neelix, who? Accidentally breached the field got forgotten. How is young Maddie here suddenly? She used a fancy word with cog in it, but I figured she meant aware. Doctor waved his cigarette box at me. Curious. My procedure appears to have altered our young Mr. Redmond, so he is now aware of the time loop. Tom got excited. So curing his glandular fever did this? Could we just do the same to everyone here? Give them nanites? I think he said this, must be a space word. And break the loop? They both looked at Lady Captain. She thought hard about it. Not ideal, Mr. Paris. Instead of these poor souls repeating the same day in sweet ignorance, we'd be consigning them to a living hell. Doc shrugged. Well, not for long. Lady Captain shot him a look that if her eyes had been a laser gun, he'd just be a pile of ash. I am quite aware of our accelerated time frame, Doctor. Suddenly, I was as scared as I'd ever been. Say, what are you not telling me? What's a skinny? Maddie, I am Captain Janeway. Catherine. Yes, we're space people, though actually, Tom and I were both born on Earth. I looked at the doc. Was that what an alien looked like? Noticing, Captain Catherine smiled. Our doctor is a hologram. She hunted for a word I'd get. He's like a robot. Doc looked annoyed. I most certainly am no. Captain Catherine waved him quiet. She was so good at that. It's shorthand, Doctor, and as you yourself so delicately stated, we do not have the luxury of long explanations. Dr. Asimov wrote about holography, so I kind of get it. She looked at me again like she was searching for a way to explain. I knew it must be real bad, as she had that voice, like when your mom tells you your puppy got run over, but worse. Maddie, do you know what day it is, what year? I told her, Monday, August 12th, 1957. She nodded. To us, it's a very, very long time after that, I'm afraid. The year 2375. I suddenly felt sick again, but not like with mono. Captain? Tom was pointing at his wristwatch. The aperture? She put a hand on my shoulder. We have to go. Be here tomorrow, she smiled. Well, today again, I guess. Hopefully we'll have longer and we can explain more. And they vanished. I spent the rest of the day trying to make sense of why 3 people from the future jaunted into our tiny burg. I knew I couldn't tell Mom and Dad. For one, they'd think I'd taken a crazy pill, and for another, they wouldn't remember it in the morning, would they? August 12th, 1957. This is nuts. I know I wrote a long entry here yesterday, but there's nothing. And it's Monday again? I had to go see Captain Catherine and hope she had answers before she vanished again. At the lake this time, they were wearing overalls, not street clothes. They're space uniforms, I guess? Kind of disappointing. They're not silver. Good morning, Maddie, she said, smiling. Hopefully we'll have a bit longer here today. 7 of 9, was that the name of their computer? Cool. Is working to extend the temporal aperture that allows us access to your town. I guess you have a lot of questions after yesterday. Boy, did I. Why have you come back in time, or have we got rocketed into the future? And why do you have a spaceship to visit Earth? And what was Doc talking about when he said we had little time? She smiled, but it was a bit of a sad one. Where to start? We are the crew of the USS Voyager, and a few years back, we got accidentally sent to a far distant corner of the sky. She looked up, waved her hand somewhere towards the eastern horizon. That way, kind of. I was confused. Lost in space? So why are you here in the Midwest? Tom joined in. You ever think you're in Nowheresville? Tom really was way older than he looked. Yeah, Daddy-O, I smiled. He smiled back. Well, you literally are. Your whole town is on a planet a gazillion miles from Earth, the only thing here. For some reason, this day keeps repeating, and we don't know why or for how long. Unfortunately, you're orbiting a star due to go nova anytime soon. In my head, I could see a big rock, and on it, a bubble with our little town in it, with a big angry sun ready to go bang. I knew what nova meant. I'd read enough sci-fi. I got real cold at that thought. But how? And how did you find us? Tom brightened. That was me. I detected a transmission on a rarely used wavelength. The signal led us here. I said it could be something top secret from the army base, the end of town. No, it was an I Love Lucy rerun. Army base? Asked Captain Catherine. That might be significant. Unfortunately, due to the time bubble, our scanners can't map your town, which is why we have to visit like this. Hey, a couple of nights back, the base was all lit up. I guess something weird going on? I said. They seemed excited by this. Captain Catherine turned to Tom. That base might hold the key to getting Maddie's people home. Tom suddenly looked excited. And us? We'll have to see. Captain Catherine turned to me. Maddie, going into an army base. We can only be here a short time, so we may need your help. This could be dangerous. It's asking a lot of you. Do you understand? I tried to be brave. Hey, if we fail, The day just starts again, doesn't it? And you said someday soon this bubble's going to burst, right? Tom's watch beeped again, breaking the silence. Captain Catherine turned quickly. Tomorrow, same time, meet us at the base. They were gone. I spent the rest of the day trying not to think I was living in a big soap bubble that could go pop any minute. August 12th, 1957. No entry again. I guess this keeps happening, but I guess I keep writing anyway. I got to Camp Percival as a Jeep pulled up behind me. Hey, Junior. I turned to see Tom Doc, the captain, and a lady with Veronica Lake hair, all wearing military uniforms. You guys got dress-up clothes for every day? Tom smiled. Veronica Lake arched the eyebrow I could see. This is the child. Are we sure we need him? We can only maintain our presence here for a few minutes. He's here all the time, said Captain Catherine. Hop in, called Tom. They covered me with a tarp. Doc did all the talking. He was now a 5-star general, had the right papers, and was here to see the artifact. No one questioned that he'd know. We drove to a remote hangar. Tom got me out after they cleared the site. Inside the hangar was a crazy little spaceship, barely three yards diameter. It was dented, shot at, but it glowed. Veronica Lake had one of those cigarette cases and waved it at the ship. Extraterrestrial in origin, a simple drone, probably an initial exploratory craft. They must have accidentally activated it. It is emitting some kind of time field. I can possibly reset it, but Tom's wristwatch bleeped. I thought you'd extended the aperture, 7. She turned. Wow, was she 7 of 9? I did, Mr. Paris. However, this field is interfering, and we have no time to instruct the child how to... And then they vanished, leaving me in the super-secret hangar as guards piled in, guns pointing. The boss of the base, General Essex, had me in his office. He wasn't happy. You're Rocket's Redmond. Bill Redmond's son? The kid obsessed with sci-fi, right? How'd you get on base? I told him about the Voyager and the soap bubble and the day always repeating. It just made him angrier. Horse pucky. Why, I oughta. But General, you have a flying saucer. He held up his hand. That vehicle we shot down was determined as a Rusky spy plane. My scientists think they've worked out its systems, got it all fired up. I exploded. But it's not. It's from space, and we're in space, and we're gonna... He grabbed me by the collar, dragged me out. Kid, get out of here. You're just cuckoo and a waste of my time. At the gate, he said, and if I see you again, you'll never remember, I muttered to myself. August 12th, 1957. Riding as I go. Don't know if I'll have a chance later. I figured they'd try again, so waited by the gate. They came. We got in again. Straight to the hangar this time. 7 of 9 talked me through equipment, which was actually pretty straightforward. Point and press. We have maybe 5 minutes till they come check, said Captain Catherine. You know what to do if we disappear again. I nodded. While working, 7 of 9's hair fell away, and I saw robot bits on her face. I smiled. She looked confused. Finally! Real sci-fi stuff! We didn't have 5 minutes. A couple of guards came early. Tom fired a laser gun at them. I was shocked. He saw my look. Hey, just stunned, don't worry. To the others, I said, maybe accelerate this? 7 of 9 went through all kinds of super speed key tapping. More guards entered. Captain Catherine pulled me to cover as Tom stunned those two. Doc strode toward the hangar gate and chewed out the approaching guards in a way that made General Essex look like a milquetoast. It gave us extra minutes. 7 looked at me. They accidentally activated its homing system. As I could no longer fly its bubble, took in the nearby area with it as it warped out. The resulting mass was flung across space, way off course. It keeps initializing its tachyon time field, trying to relaunch. That's why the day repeats. I have it fixed, and now it will leave as it intended. Your town will be snapped back in time and space, no longer held in the self-regenerating matrix. She paused, looking at me. In theory. What about you guys? Can you get home? She sadly shook her head. Not this time. And vanished. They all did. The guard's doc had been shouting at, or stunned for a second, then noticed me. Kid, away from that! Tell me to shoot! But I can't. The sequence is almost complete. I'm tapping the last 2 pads to hit as I hear gunfire, firing high to scare me, I hope, and August 13th, 1957. Nothing ever happens in Patterson's Creek. Another dull day. Summer days can last forever.